Welcome to the Blackburn podcast as Rovers carry on their unbeaten start to the season with a 2-1 win at home over Oxford United. Considering my initial reaction is that we played quite poorly, wasn't exactly what we've come to expect from this new Rovers side that we're seeing, but it's great to actually play like this, have spells where we're just not at the races, seem to be at a loss, and letting the other team kind of control it and still come away with that win as once again a sub comes off the bench to grab us that winning goal. So let's get into it. So the starting lineup, there was only one change as our main man Ohashi starts with Gay dropping to the bench. It was the only change from last Saturday with Pears in goal, Britton and Pickering on the full-back positions with Carter and Hyam in the centre-back, with Tronstad and Travis in that centre-mid, Travis keeping the captain's armband, obviously. JRC on that right wing, Dolan on the left, Dolan in that number 10, and Hedges on the left, and like I said, Ohashi up top. Oxford obviously coming into this off some decent results. Obviously, they did lose their last one, but performing quite well. I was a bit concerned coming into it. I thought that Oxford would be, coming at us, as you could tell by the videos that Mark had put out with the Oxford fans. They're quite confident this year, and they came out of the traps and they did quite well. So, straight off the bat, Pears was called into action, making a decent save, and it just felt like that we started a little bit slower. We had a couple of chances ourselves, but really it seemed to be a little bit more in Oxford's favour at that start. And as we go into half time, towards the end of the half, I felt like it was petering out, but let's credit where credit's due. Oxford United's goal. What a goal. I said it was the best goal I've seen since Letitia scored at Ewa Park from an opposing team. To have it knocked down, I'm not too happy that he won it that easy. But to be fair, great knockdown. And the lad Harris has just looked up. He's seen Pears and he's just had a dip. And there's nothing Pears could do. Pears' positioning was absolutely fine. It was just a great finish. And I thought, oh, here we go. We're going to go into half time. Eustace is going to have to read the right act. But no, straight up the other end. And JRC, someone who I said I didn't really want to see in that right wing anymore, he pops up in the area after a goal mouth scramble. And like I said on Twitter, it was very much Beauty and the Beast when it came to the goals. Oxford getting that beautiful one, and then we get a bit of a scrappy one bouncing around the area. And he pounces and gets it in that far corner. It seemed to take an age from my angle of it going in. But yeah, I felt like Oxford probably deserved a little bit more out of that first half than we did, but the draw was probably was the right result. But we came out a little bit sluggish once again. Pears having to make another save, and it just really felt like it just wasn't going to be our day. Very sluggish all the way around. Dolan was doing a little bit of dancing. In fact, the one time that he, tended to go a little bit more simple, it seemed to work a lot better. Hedges was looking tired and came off, and Gay came on. It was something that Mark and I had discussed on the podcast that we'd like to see Ohashi drop into that number 10 with Gay up top. We got a chance to see it, and it seemed to work. Ohashi was getting a lot more space. He showed a lot of energy. And we had opportunities ourselves. But it just seemed like it was more Oxford's play than ours. We got very scrappy. Travis was doing Travis things, as we've mentioned, letting a few things get to his head a bit and lashing out. But generally, we seem to be on the back foot, I would say. And the subs come. JRC comes off and Vyman comes on. I thought that was a positive sub. And Don comes off and Siggy comes on. Now, we've been calling about Siggy, saying about how he needs to step up and do more. And how's an Icelandic international not making the plays, not getting those opportunities and making some plays? Well, he does it. He comes on. He starts he starts to get a little bit of movement on that left-hand side. And on the 83rd minute, cuts in and a beautiful finish in off the post. The pass was actually from Gay. So once again, the subs coming off the bench and doing what needs to be done. And it kind of left a little bit of an onslaught from Oxford at the end. I think we was all really nervous. Pears came and controlled one and clattered one of their players, which meant more injury time. And then it felt like their keeper spent more time in our box than their striker did, because it was just corner after corner after corner, and Oxford were absolutely bombarded. But we dealt with it, and we managed to see it out and get that result. It was one of the. I felt like at the end of it, it was a point. It was definitely 3 points earned with the sitting in the grinding out and getting those results, and we wasn't getting that this year. And what like people were saying last year at Ewood, we were pretty poor throughout, and to be able to play poor and get a result is brilliant. I mean, looking at the player performances, Pears, there was times he didn't look fantastic, but I thought he was okay. It was a pretty decent performance from him. Made a couple of saves, couldn't do anything about the goal, like I said. At his feet, I tell you what, High and put him under pressure with a couple of real dodgy passes, and he dealt with them. So I can't really say too much about Pears. I thought Britton and JRC had a fantastic game on the right-hand side with each other. Britton making up for his error last week with a great assist in that Norwich game, and you could tell that he was prowling today. Carter and Hyam, I thought, were quite solid, and like I said, they dealt with that onslaught quite well at the end. Pickering on the left, he got forwards and he was making things happen. Tronstad and Travis, they would just push back. I was a bit upset with Travis today. I felt like Travis had gone back and was playing how he used to play. The first couple of games for us this season, it felt like a new signing. He was getting forward. He was making some real positive passes. He dropped back. I think he had to drop back this game. Like I said, this is an initial reaction. And we'll break it more in the pod. But it felt like he was, whilst he did get forward a bit, there was just times where he was just on the back foot and, like I said, doing Travis things. JRC, great to get his goal. Thought he worked well with Britton, like I said. Dolan, when he simplified his game, he really offered quite a bit, but there was times where he just danced a little bit too much and gave it away. But generally, I thought was very, very positive. Hedges looked very tired, and it was a good sub. And Ohashi, when he was actually up top, he kept wandering out to the wing and swapping in with Dolan. But yeah, I thought just the energy that he's got, the fact that he puts his body on the line, he throws himself into things. He's definitely a legend in the making. Subs, obviously Siggy did well when he came on to get his goal. I thought Vyman looked very good when he came on. And Gay looked a little bit out of sorts in my eyes. I could be wrong. He did get himself about. He was smiling, but he looked a little bit sluggish, and I can understand why he was on the bench, but he just didn't seem to get into that game. Other than the pass to the goal, which obviously was a nice little through ball to Siggy. But generally, he gave the ball away a couple of times, and I think he just struggled to get into that game. But he's still a hero in my eyes. But yeah, he definitely looked out of sorts today at times. And then looking at the manager performance, once again, the subs making a difference. He set the team up as he normally would, so we can't look into that too much. But generally, he obviously saw that Ohashi needed to start, and Ohashi had a good game. He actually got the sponsors man of the match, and the subs came at the right time and made a difference. So you can tell that Eustace has that in him to be able to make these changes when he sees things are not working. And I thought it was great, but it seems to be a different story this season to last, where we can hold tight at the back, we can grind out results, when we're going forward, and there seems to be a little bit more positivity around the lads. A little bit of arguing now and again, but generally they look very supportive of each other. But we'll get into it on the pod. I hope you all have a good weekend, and remember to tune into the podcast where we'll break down this game and we'll preview a couple of matches next week. One of them may be of interest to you. But remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.